of the top teams in the NBA tonight. The Thunder will host the Celtics. SGA can pass Wilt Chamberlain for the longest streak of 20 or more point games in NBA history, while Jalen Brown will return for the Celtics after a controversial ejection in the second quarter against the Spurs earlier this week. Both Jalen Brown and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are having terrific seasons as both rank in the top 6 in the league in scoring. SGA is the shortest odds to win the MVP according to DraftKings Sportsbook, while Brown has the 5th shortest odds. Here's Stephen A. earlier in the week on Brown's MVP chances.
Jalen Brown is a top 2 candidate for league MVP. There are 2 road games coming up this week at San Antonio and then against Shea Butter and Oklahoma City. Now, Jalen Brown, that's going to go a long way towards us looking at you. Even though you got Tatum back, he's still feeling his way back. It's still you, Jalen Brown, when you roll up in the San Antonio, when you roll up in the Oklahoma City. What you going to do? All of us are watching because we know what he can do. But what you going to do against those brothers?
All right, so when he went up against San Antonio, he got ejected. We didn't get to see a full sample size. I don't know if that's going to hurt him in the MVP case or not. But now he has another opportunity tonight against the Thunder. Do we think Brown has an MVP case tonight when he goes up against SGA? What do you think there, Vince?
At the risk of upsetting Stephen A. Smith for the second straight segment, I think he has a case. Do I think he's top 2? No, I don't think he's top 2. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still in the lead. I think Nikola Jokic, the man who leads the league in assists and rebounds and whose team is 2 games behind Boston in the win column, is not a huge difference between the 2 teams at this stage of the game, and Jokic is still arguably the best player in the game. I think he's second. And then you have Jalen Brown and Victor Wembanyama and Cade Cunningham as your 3, 4, and 5 in whatever order that you want to have it in. Stephen A., I don't think I'm disrespecting Jalen Brown here. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be in the conversation or that with a strong last month of the season that he can't elevate himself to that top MVP status, even though I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander likely closed the book on it with that game of the year, game-winning 3 on national TV earlier this week. Stephen A., I don't think that's a disrespect because I think Jokic is still at the peak of his powers. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best player on still the best team. We talk about Boston having those injuries. Denver has had a lot of injuries, and we talked about that in segment 1, and Jokic is still carrying the load for that franchise. I don't think he's far away from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think he's a step ahead of Jalen Brown at this stage.
So Jamal Murray ain't been doing nothing, huh? He's just been out there taking pictures. You understand what I'm saying? And posing for cameras and all of that stuff. He ain't been doing anything, right? He's only been an all-star. I mean, the brother is special, and you always have him, so that's number 1. Number 2, Jokic hasn't been himself. We know he's been injured. We know he's missed games, stuff like that. We get all of that part. And Denver fell off because they fell down our 5th seed. So we're going to ignore that. That's fine. You can feel what you want to feel. Here's where I'm coming from. I got a bigger issue. First things first. Shiash Mehta, that damn official that ejected Jalen Brown, that needed to mind his own damn business. You got Tyler Ford, the crew chief that gave the tech that Jalen Brown was going after, had nothing to do with the official Mehta, but yet you sticking your nose where it don't belong with your novice ass self. Oh, I can't say. I hope he's confined to the Wizards for the rest of the season. Make me sick because that was a nationally televised game. You know that the guy is fighting for MVP honors. You missed the call, and if Tyler Ford had ejected him, as egregious as I would have thought that was, it still would have been somewhat understandable depending on what Jalen Brown said to him. But for the crew chief to recognize the importance of the moment, and for him not to eject Jalen Brown, and then this guy, Suyash Mehta, I think that's his name. I mean, for him to step in with his novice self, and you're nothing compared to Tyler Ford. You're his subordinate, and you sit up there and step in, all right, with nobody asking you to, and eject Jalen Brown on a nationally televised game. That just ruined the whole evening, and I think it could potentially have an effect on Jalen Brown's MVP chances. He's got to show up tonight for the purposes specifically of the MVP award. Tonight is the most important game of Jalen Brown's season. for the purposes of the MVP, because it's Shea Butter that's on the other side. That's the brother that you got to go against. They're 1 and 2 to me. Then Jokic and Wembanyama and them. It's up to them because Jalen Brown didn't have Jason Tatum. Jalen Brown had Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. That's what he had this year. Okay, that's what he had this year. And the brother went out there with a $300 million deal with the expectations and still averaged 29 and gave it to everybody. This brother deserves it. And here's where it gets a bit deep, Shay, and Vinny knows this. Jalen Brown is a really, really good dude who has been underappreciated in terms of notoriety for years. He is a guy that is a conscientious observer. He is a highly, highly intellectual dude. You understand? That's very philanthropic and charitable with his community and what have you. And when you talk about social justice and speaking up about a lot of things, that brother never hesitated. And whether it's sneaker companies, whether it's Fortune 500 companies or corporate America overall or whatever it is, he has been willing to be a principled individual who stepped on the court and backed it up every single year. The man has been in the 6 conference finals. He's 28 years old. 6. He's a champion and a finals MVP, okay? And we know that sneaker companies and other folks haven't been too fond of him. Why is this relevant? Because when he made the statement on X the other day, this is the bleep I'm talking about. He wasn't just talking about missed calls. He's talking about a flagrant lack of respect that has been accorded in his direction. And on this platform, on this show, people misconstrued and acted like I was going at him and I had to sit down and talk with him. No, I wasn't saying you're not liked by me. I'm saying people on Madison Avenue and corporate America and people like that, they have a problem with this brother because he don't suffer fools. He is not an idiot. He is not stupid, and he don't tolerate stupid people around him. And if you do some stupid stuff or you're thinking that you're going to compromise him in any way, he will check you in a nanosecond. And people, a lot of times in corporate America, don't like that. And those kind of things contribute to deflating the momentum and the fervor that should exist for him. And that's why I was so ticked off that he was ejected, because despite all of that resistance, the brother has ascended without the services of Jason Tatum for most of this season. And on a damn basketball court, some no-name official, you understand, breath smelling like Similac, wet behind the ears. We don't know, nor do we care about him. This man steps in for a call that didn't even involve him and ejected Jalen Brown from a game nationally televised against Victor Wembanyama in the midst of him dropping 39 points and 8 3-pointers. And you know that this man is vying for MVP, and you eject him in the second damn quarter of a game after your crew missed the damn call. This is what I'm talking about. So tonight is very important. Jalen Brown's got to show out against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but I'll be damned. You got to make sure that somebody else definitively is more deserving, because I am going to do everything in my power to give Jalen Brown every benefit of the doubt to capture league MVP honors. He is not going to be robbed of anything, if I have anything to say about it, other than his performance on the basketball court. That is what we all should be watching for in favor of Jalen Brown. He deserves that much from all of us. Incredible basketball player, model citizen, conscientious observer, great, great brother. He deserves better than what he has received from all of us.
Okay, that's fair, and he's got a real opportunity tonight.
Steve, I don't disagree with you.
Go ahead, Vince. You can get a quick one.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know that.
No, I was going to say.
I know that, Vinny.
Stephen A., I don't disagree with you at all. And I think that a moment was taken away. Like, we talk all the time about superstar calls and things of that nature. Even if he said something to one ref out of the way, we want Jalen Brown to play in that game. We want him to have the opportunity to go head up with Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs in that very moment. You're right, he has an opportunity to do that tonight. I don't want to come across like I don't appreciate everything that Jalen Brown has been doing and has been. He deserves to be on the next Olympic team in 2028. Him and Grant Hill need to have some conversations and hash out their issues. But Stephen A., I'm with you. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tonight. I just want to make sure that two things can be true, that if I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP right now and Nikola Jokic might be second, doesn't mean that I am attempting to disrespect Jalen Brown, his career, and all that he's meant. I just wanted to make that clear.
I never said you were.
I just wanted to make that clear for everybody else. I know you got it.
I know you understand that. But let me say this also, Shai, because this is very important, because Vinny just brought this up. Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum spent 82 games over the last couple of years, deferred to by Drew Holiday and Derek White. Both of them were picked on the Olympic team ahead of Jalen Brown. How that makes sense? This is the kind of stuff that we're talking about here. This man has been disrespected time and time again. We got to stop this nonsense. Again, he's got to go out there and continue to perform. He's got 17 games left. It's not locked. It's a very, very, very close race. But we need to make sure that he is judged strictly on his basketball, because I'm going to say this and I'm going to end it by saying this. And this is going to be controversial to some people. I could give less than a damn. If that were Jason Tatum, they don't eject him. If that was another star in the NBA, they're not ejected like that. Now, if Tyler Ford had ejected him, the crew chief, that would have been different. But a referee that had nothing to do with the call, coming over and stepping in unsolicited to eject Jalen Brown, they would not have done that to any other star in this game. That's the bottom line. That is unacceptable. And I'm saying it, and I mean it.
The good news, I guess, for Jalen Brown is he will be rested tonight when they take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, because he did sit out an entire